right, well, here we are. Hopefully, I mean, luckily, Plasticity does auto-save very well, but I'm not sure this is the best shape for me to have started doing such drastic things to, but that is okay because I'm going to do some crazy stuff here. That's going to make it all a lot easier and better on us. I just wanted a general body shape or main cab kind of body shape for this thing. So it's all what I wanted either way. I'm just going to come in here and make a couple of cuts to kind of get stuff going. There we go. There's this one. What we're going to do is take this one and just slice through the entire body. So I'm going to grab my hull here and go ahead and cut. Grab this dude and say okay. And we're just going to chunk that part out just like so. I'm going to kill this curve. A lot of people will save or hide their curves as you go. I don't like doing that. I just think it's messy. You know, I don't like the messiness of it if I can help it. I'm not really OCD, but you know, I'm a lot of things, and maybe I am, and I just don't want to admit it or realize it. Okay, so let's go ahead now and try to sort this business. I think this is just wind up rounding in the end anyway. I probably couldn't pull this now because the entire shape is there, so I'm just going to go ahead and break free from that. And I think what I should do, just for the sake of making this easier, is I'm going to kill this half of it just so it doesn't have to process both sides and get all wonky about that, because they are very large odd shapes. And I might have to actually split this with a line instead of just deleting faces, because it is that particular right now. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab our piece and go ahead and split using this guy, and then just kill this half for the moment. We do have a solid object, so that's not hurting my feelings either. And I'm going to see if there's a way I can go ahead and fillet this bottom line here without it causing major issues, which it looks like it wants to, no matter what I'm doing here. This may be coming down to me having to do an entire, you know, remake of the body. I'm not sure yet, but let's find out. It's this part that's kind of bugging me, but we can figure it out. I'm going to go ahead and offset probably to start with this particular line here. And this also may be the fact that these are not maybe separate curves, given the way the body was made. So another thing I can do just to kind of test that theory is, let me get out of here, is to select the whole body, see if there is any redundant topology to delete. Maybe not. It looks to me like this might be a double line. I can't really tell because the closer I get, it's really not, you know, standing out whether it is or isn't. It seems to be a single line, but you don't know until you know. So I'm just going to kind of leave that at that for the moment and try to maybe join these curves together. I don't think I can because of the angle they're at, but maybe we can. Let me just see. Nope, still says singles. So I'm just going to grab both now and see if we can also offset these together, which would be handy. It looks like it wants to, so I'm just going to come this way, give this kind of a shelled out vibe at some point here, maybe like that. And what we're going to do is take this and we're going to say hollow solid here. I think I probably regret doing this, but you never know. And I'm going to push in or pull it out one way or the other. It may not let me do it here because of just the way things are set up. Doesn't look like it's going to. Alrighty, so what I'll wind up doing then is extruding that in and then expanding its you know, reach from within here or something. Let's just pull that back. I don't necessarily need to go all the way through. We'll leave it at that. I could come in here and then, you know, push these back, which, whoops, not that one, which may or may not work to give us a deeper kind of cavity. But if I do this wrong, you can see it really kind of screws with that edge. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and just leave that like this for the moment. I will most likely add another section here. So let's just back out. I don't like how this leg bit kind of, is causing all kinds of issues. So let's go ahead and just back this out until that leg bit is gone. Crazy, huh? And then now that I've got that back to normal, I'm just gonna group these back together again. Yeah. And now what I think I want to do is literally just make this whole hip section, add it to it, then extract it from it, because the way I'm doing this is really kind of bass-backwards, as they call it. So for starters, I think the best way to go about it is just going to be to create kind of a hip, and I'm going to just scale this circle more like so, like this. That's okay. I'm going to cut this bottom off of it though from the front. So that's the cool thing about plasticity. There's a billion different ways that you can go about achieving a result. So I'm going to use cut curve to cut this curve with another curve. So it's going to come over here. And I don't believe I can just use cut solid with curve there. Yes, I need to find a cut curve, which is over here in my standard tools. And I don't think it's come up here on the, yeah, no, these are going to have to be right here. I've got one cut curve in my little standard list of stuff, and now I can go ahead and get rid of this entire face or curve, which I think I'm just going to go ahead and single out this curve and get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this line. Any of these lines we don't need, but this one I'm going to add a line to, just from here to here. It's cool because we're drawing 2D in a 3D space. And then with our face mode, it won't work, so I'll need to come in here to grab that curve and then go ahead and join those curves. Now I have a curve I can actually use. Crazy that. And then what I will wind up doing, instead of making like a cylinder or an egg or something, I'm just going to pull this forward. That needs to be aligned, though. You can see it was kind of slanting up. So what I will need to do is grab the points of this here and scale those. However need be. I'm going to turn off the main body though, because I can't see it. Just hide that. I'm going to grab my points of this curve here. It looks like there's only two, which is crazy in itself. I'm going to have to look at them from the side and the top. So from here, I'm going to scale them in the X until they are, into the Y until they are 0, just to make sure they're flat. And I'm going to look at them from the top here just to see if these are flat here as well. Yeah, see, that didn't want to. So this says that, but I'm going to go ahead and put 0 here as well, make sure those are flat. It's probably not going to take it either. Nope. Okay, so that is flat as far as I know. I'm going to go ahead and grab my little face here and extrude this out one way or the other. I believe that is correct now. Let's undo that. I'm going to bring my dude back. And let's go ahead and extract or extrude this out the way that I want. Distance, degrees, thickness, yep. Keep tools, nope. And I want to make sure that we are using this, I think it's Shift T that I want. No, that isn't what I want either. I had it right the first time, believe it or not. Union, slice, nope. Intersect, nope. New body, keep tools, freestyle, pivot. Distance, it should be the one I'm looking for. So D, no, it's not, but that'll work. I don't care. That is fine because I'm going to wind up doing this, centering it out anyway. Let's get rid of our line here and just pulling it backward as much as we want. And it's going to look like it's got a dip in it, but it doesn't. It's just the shape of the body that's cut into it that makes it look that way. And what this one is here. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it from this side Okay, good. So it did not want me to do that side of it, so I'm going to do this again. Works fine. Good. Okay, so that's where I wanted to be on that part. We're blocking this out very, very blockily first. Broccoli, not my favorite vegetable. Okay, and then with these edges here, now this may cause a problem just because these curve all the way in on the inside, so it's possible. I'm going to go in and slice this from the top here in a second, but what I'm going to do first is just see how they work, given being, you know, the way they are here. I don't know if I want that, so I think I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go ahead and do that cut I'm telling you about. Split them right down the middle if possible. Let's grab the whole piece. Let's find a center of some kind like this and just, you know, make a line that goes straight up through. Right click that. Let's grab it and just move it up. And now I'm going to just split this in half for the moment. I don't know if that's a good idea. Looking at it now. He wondered. No, let's not do that. This is how I get so much done in my day, is changing my mind 4,200 times, then forgetting what I was initially doing to begin with. Okay, cool. I never had that problem. Suddenly I do. It comes with age, Sean. Well, actually, I'm only 27, so I don't understand why that works. Okay, let's find the back one now and say, yep, that's good for me. Now let's try what I was planning and turn off the see-through. It's being distracting. And grab some lines like this one and this one and try that again. See, I don't want it fully round. I just want something like that. I guess that will work for me at the moment. And what I wanted to do is put some kind of cylinder kind of within this. Just go ahead and go like that. And we can then pull this down if we can grab the face. Got to switch into that face mode. Imagine that. I'm just going to pull this down as a connection joint kind of thing. This piece I think is going to be attached to the body, and this piece should not really move unless maybe it should. So the way around that is I'm going to have to take this curve, if I can. No, I'm going to have to take this guy and possibly just duplicate it and delete it from the other. And I don't even need to duplicate it now that I think about it. I could just take this guy, do a Q, select this one like so, and then keep both tools and say okay. So now we have this tool and this tool. And if I hide this one, we do have that cutout that I want. I'm going to get rid of this circle so it's not so distracting. And more than likely, I would want to core out this side of the body this way too. So I'm going to, for funsies, duplicate this piece here. And then I'm going to grab this top. That should be a separate, yeah. I'm going to use this one to cut down into something's not showing, to cut down through that body there. Oops, did I just not agree? Let's agree. Okay, something's doing something weird. And why are you not working, buddy? And come down. There we go. And we can just agree to that, and then I can probably pull this one up and make it agree to that. I don't know that this is the same piece though now that I look at it. Yes, it is, so that's good. And we're going to take that body and we're going to cue that cylinder from it. Agree. That's all good to go. I probably should have made that a little different, but let's just grab this surface and push it in, and that should give us something closer. We just want to make room for that, you know what I mean? I'm going to round off everything and core stuff out if need be, but I think that works for that section. I'm going to go ahead and turn my other part back on here now. You can start to see what I'm after, I hope. And I believe now that I'm going to take this edge here. Let's just grab all that, and we're going to do a offset, if it will let me. And I'm going to grab offset, yep, and go inward on it to about, you know, something that's too much because of the other piece. So yeah, that's fine. I can always push this one back if I need to. We'll say yay there, and then I'm going to take this guy, I hope, maybe just an offset, that way it won't eat through the side. I think that works perfect. Good. That's good. And then I don't want this kind of to be its own piece. I don't like this doing this. How that's sort of, because I don't mind this rotating here, but I don't like how it's eating into everything so much. So what I might do, let's just push this back first off and see if that's, whoops, not that, this. And that causes a problem because it comes out of the other part, which that could be an issue. So with that, let's go ahead. We might push this back as far as we can. That's only going to go right about there. That's fine. And then this, I think I'm going to chop. It's time to chop, and we'll see when I go here where I want that chopped. So I think if I go about here and maybe straight down to here, who knows? We'll agree with it. I don't think that's going to be pretty though. We'll give it a go. It's probably going to leave a nice ugly gap, but maybe that works well for it. I'm going to see. Because not everything is going to be streamlined and perfect in this universe. Not this one specifically. But let me just get rid of this inner chunk that I wanted to get rid of. I don't mind the gap as long as it's not a horrible, and I can always pull that back if I need to. That works for me. And let's go ahead and take this guy. We can now shove this probably all the way and make it go away. We just want to make sure we don't chop the top of it off. So that's probably not going to work. Yeah. And let me just see how far I can get away with it. Only there, huh? Well, that's got to be good enough for the moment. And then, like I said, I don't care for how that's working. And this is the problem with changing your mind multiple times during something like this, is that it winds up, you know, fighting itself a little bit. And don't know if I want to push those up, back up there or not. So at some point I have to stop that just because it's going to lay over the other part and cause problems. Let's see if I can do this one all the way up. Oh, come on, do it. Almost. Let's just kind of find it again now. Agree. Go here. You know, you want a Fanta. Don't you wanna? Okay, agree. Try one more time with this and see if in steps it's going to work, maybe. Not quite, but that's close enough for government work. You know what I mean? It's a film model. Let's just go ahead and bring up. Maybe this one will go all the way up that same almost degree. And right to there, we'll just agree for now. Agree. I don't like it, but then why am I living with it? I don't know, actually. Let's undo that. I don't like it. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to lie to myself just because I'm being lazy. Okay, we'll deal with that in a minute. I know that really should require the pushing in here and not anything else. But I don't think it's going to agree with that without flipping out. Well, maybe it will. Let's just snap to the loo, my darling. You know, skip to the loo, my darling. That was about let's go hold hands, go to the bathroom together. Okay, there we go. That may or may not work. Right now, all of you are wondering if that's true. Okay, let's just get this back a little more. Let's just leave it there. It looks good enough. I think that works. I'll deal with the insides later. They're going to be all mechanicalized anyway. But I think for the most part that is fine. This though is going to wind up being, like I said, some kind of joint that, you know, doesn't get smoked, but it was the kind that links from one side to the other. So we can just pretty much leave that there like that. These might want a rounding of a corner, or at least like a bevel or some type of situation. I think I'm going to put a little bit of bevel on just on this corner. Not a bevel, but a fillet. Something maybe like that. Yeah. And then we can chamfer all the rest of these for the most part. Give that a kind of a this stops here kind of situation. This may not work because of the other issues we had going on before. As you can see, that's wanting to not do its thing. So I'm going to try and grab both these at the same time, which they might go, yeah, no, you're not doing that. And because of this break right here, mainly. Might work though. And it does not. See? Made a non-liar out of me. Let's try both of these together. See if that works. No, it's going to be this one that's going to give me the problem. Let's see. Yeah, that one pretty much doesn't want to work at all. Unless it's a much smaller or larger fillet there. That looks horrible. So let's go ahead and try this one by itself just to see. And it doesn't look like it really wants to do. I'm not even sure what's selected there. Grab that. Push that one in. And it looks like I have maybe left a fillet that I didn't mean to leave once I had made one. Let's double check. Now I might just have to make a cutting tool. And actually have this cut away as it goes. Let's just do this whole piece to start with. So it started out with an issue and then it got rid of its own issue, which I don't mind. Get rid of all your issues before you show up is what I say. And let's go ahead now that we've got this free. Maybe these will work together better as long as we don't go over that boundary right there. That works for me. I can live with that. Looks more definitely as it was planned to look. And not that there was a plan. Cool. Okay, so these, again, I want to have more of an angle out on, I think. So this will all kind of come together in one go. Just kind of snap here to the front. And what I'm thinking is some type of, maybe just the angle on this piece. So let me just rotate this out. See just how much of an issue that may or may not be. I think that works. This will wind up extending up into, probably put a ball or something on the end of that at some point. And for the moment, I think I'm just going to pull this piece out to help that not look stupid. Okay, so this one also should be kind of a shell, I think. So I might have to come in here and maybe either push this in if it'll let me. Nope, that's going to cut away everything. I'll probably have to do the hollow a solid business. Hopefully it will work. Yep, let's just go. Come on now. Find your balance point, grasshopper. How far? Where's it going to let me do it? Is that? No, that's not going to let me do it. Let's just undo for a sec. Try it again. I've got it. Too many tries happening at the same time. So something like this is what I'm looking for. Just something to hollow that out. Looks great. In fact, we may go ahead and try to push this up and through. And yes, it did work. So that's good news. Now we have a shell we can work with there. It looks a shell of a lot better. And then I'm going to create possibly a sphere at the end of this cylinder. In fact, let's make that a little bit smaller for now and grab a sphere and just throw it in here on the end of this piece as a Let's say a new body, so I'm going to just go with B. It's going to have to be a lot smaller. I don't know why we're snapping. I'm going to hold my control key and just get this in a non-snapping way. I don't know what's going on with the snapping. We'll pull this down, and that's much better. We'll just make it a little larger. I kind of want it to be, you know, kind of like a hip joint where it's a little larger than the actual socket like that, or than the bone end. I think that works pretty good for that. I probably do want to go ahead and mesh these together, so we can always extend this end when need be. So I'm just going to go like so, and QQ. Good to go. That's one piece. Okay, get rid of that curve there. Not needed. Okay, so I think that looks kind of cool. Trying to give this thing kind of arms and legs. I'm going straight out of my mind here, so, well, other than going out of my mind, this is coming out of my head. So I'm thinking if this rotates in here, this probably just flaps up and down to accommodate for the leg movement and doesn't have to rotate with the leg itself. So there's probably going to be some kind of hingy attachment, or, you know, something that allows us to sort of flip up, slide, or whatever at some point. We can put a hinge here, or we can put maybe like two brackets that have a little slidey bit that this kind of slings through. But that sounds like something that'll probably be weak and breakable in the end unless they're on the inside. So may or may not wait on it. We'll see. They might just have a hinge and bounce as they, you know, need to be moved. They may not even need to move at all. A little rise in it or something might not be bad, but you know. So let's go ahead and start with some rectangles here and just kind of get body proportions of this thing out. First, I'm going to go probably just with a center rectangle, give us kind of a thigh piece. Something, yeah, it looks pretty good. And let's angle that one around too, I think. Little like that. And maybe take these points here and sort of grab them around to be a little more interesting, tapered or whatever. All of this is going to get shaped as I go, so it's not like I'm making too many final decisions on absolutely everything here. That looks good. Let's go ahead and just extrude this out. If it will stop being odd, we got to go to face mode, that's why. And I'm going to just pull this a little this way, like so. Let's go ahead and get rid of that rectangle for now. I'm going to pull this one this way and kind of look at it from the side, make sure we're all good. Sometimes the isometric view is helpful that way. I'd rather look at it in a perspective view all the time because I think isometric view just messes with my brain like a lot. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and give us a knee joint socket there. So I think I'm just going to take this curve tool here and just sort of come up, making us a rounded opening kind of area. And let's go ahead and extend this one out just a little bit more as well, just so we have an overlap in that. And this, just going to move some stuff around until it's more like I would like it to be. This one probably should be a lot more upright, like so, and maybe this one too, because this really has to fit that within it, you know, without binding and stuff. So just trying to think ahead. It's not perfect, but it's probably would work for this. It's a movie model, you know what I mean? And let's go ahead and grab our piece here. We're gonna go cut using this curve. Blam, it's already through. Let's grab that piece and ditch it, and let's get rid of the curve. And I think that's not too bad for starters. From the side now, this is going to be a little harder, but we're going to click on a face and we're going to press the space bar and go right to that face the way we should. As my see-through mode, it may be a little bit off an angle, which I'm not a big fan of, but it should still work fine. If not, I'll just have to do it twice. So we're just going to come up now, let's say from approximately center to here to here. And I'm just going to make a kind of a curve there. Well, hopefully this will work this way too. Just kind of bring up a similar shape, because when I do that, see, it kind of lets me stretch that out and keep somewhat of a curve. So back on that same plane, it's very important we stay on this plane. This face. Now we're going to go with our select our lines. Let's just make sure these are joined. It's a single curve, and with this box selected now, we're going to cut and select the curve and boom and be done. And now get rid of the bottom part, and for the most part we're better. It's not perfect because of the angle of that. I forgot this probably wasn't a 100% accurate rectangle, but that can be fixed very simply by just going ahead and putting the fillet back on these. Let me just get it correct now on both of them. Try not to snap to the center if I can help it. Oh, come on now, give it back. Give it back. Okay, that one works. Boom, done. Okay, so there we are. Not horribly bad. And I think we're going to round these four. I might have to cut loose that bottom section, otherwise this will destroy that particular action, as you can see. So I think I want that a lot more cut in than I sort of bargained for. That's not a bad placement of that, but I think what I want to do is I want to cut off this bottom section. And the best way to do that is just going to be to chuck right through it right here. I think I'm going to grab one line and put it just sort of out from here to here. And then I'm going to make another one still connected, well, technically, out to here. I'm going to join these two curves together. That way they will be one, and we're going to cut this whole piece now using that. And the background looks off and twisted because I'm using a temporary construction plane. For that, I'll just turn that off for now. And we're going to go ahead and hopefully cut this correctly by going ahead and saying cut and use this curve. And that is the wrong angle, so we're going to go ahead and say no, not that. We're going to look at the plane we're on. And now we're going to say cut, use this, and boom, good to go. And now it's a separate piece. So I'm going to have to treat the curves and stuff differently. I'm just going to get rid of my curves. And I want to round these right here, and hopefully they will do what I am imagining a little more by just kind of getting more of a rounded sort of piece there. What I really wanted was to kind of taper this in, but you know, that's totally fine. I'm going to try these individual here now and see if they're going to give me a huge hard time, which it looks like they may or may not. I don't mind those hanging over some, but maybe not an immense amount. So just maybe there. Looks like it's going to be fine. It's going to work enough. I just don't want them overly square and super ugly, so I think that is fine. And now these I'm going to pull back so that it's a separation. These probably the same. To be honest, let's just go ahead and grab the right thing to grab here and pull this back, and that's a little better. And let's go ahead and do that with this top piece for now, I guess. I'm trying not to get detailed at this point because there's so many things you could and you would want to change, but I figure this is probably going to be okay. And then I want to take this curve, pretty much the whole thing. Let's turn off our see-through there, and I'm going to offset that one in as well. if it will allow enough, probably something like enough just to look like a nice solid object. There we go. And then this can probably just be pushed up more than likely, I think, before it's, I don't want it to eat away at the sides, so that's the problem I'm having. I think maybe that should just be extruded at this point straight up. And you're saying, well, if you extrude that, it's going to get all wonky and stuff, but not if you choose your pivot. So we click on V and we say, yes, please use this line. And when you extrude that up now, it's going to follow along that line as it does that extrude. I'm just going to go ahead and accept that, and hopefully, yep, everything looks good to go. And we may or may not have lost a little bit of edging there, but that is super simple to fix. Just got to fix this rounded corner here. That is no longer rounded. It's just a matter of pulling that out to match our other fillet. And then we can grab these two guys probably. I think I'm going to chamfer the inner one slightly. And I'll probably just fillet just the outside. Might have to do, may or may not have to do more than this. That looks pretty good though. It works for me. Okay, cool. So now we can put in our, bolt for the knee joint or whatever that's going to be. I think that will be pretty good. We'll put some details on the knee and whatnot, but I'm going to wait on those just for now until we get a basic leg kind of laid out. Let's look from the front, figure out what the rest of the shape this is going to be. And I think what I want is, again, I'm going to make a cube. I'm going to use a corner rectangle here now. We're going to put our jointy stuff up here, but I'm going to start this one kind of like so. And instead of doing this corner rectangle, well, let's go ahead and do it, and then I'll change the shape of it as I go, I guess. But something kind of like this, not too long, not too short. And we're going to go into our points mode, and I'm really going to make these much wider at the bottom to give me a bigger, kind of a bigger foot or spread of that leg, maybe a little less on the inside here, just to be not so flared. I don't want the legs to hit each other. And I think that works. I'm going to grab this whole surface here now, this whole face, and move it back before I do anything. I'm going to look at it from the, whoops, not that. I don't want to extrude it just yet. I'm going to move it so we grab the curve and not the face, and look at it from the side and figure just how far back maybe that goes. Something like this, because I am going to angle this here in a sec. Cool, we agree, and then I'm going to just pull this whole thing now forward, look at the side and see how much. Whoops, didn't want to do that either. Let's grab this and do that. Look from the side again. I am not sure what's happening, but okay, that works for me. Just going to agree to that, get rid of that curve for the moment. And now from that side, I'm going to give it its kind of angle out shape. There's a couple ways that could be done. I'm going to see first off about drafting this face here. I'm going to make sure that that's going to work with this particular, yep. It's amazing when you get it right the first time. Amazing. Okay, and then the second method you could use from this side here is to just take another line and say from here, hey buddy, just cut this down here to there, through that. And now this can be like, hey, cut, use this, and now we have this cut through. Goodbye, peace. And I say that every day when I wake up. Cool, and there we go, and excellent. And we have our little trapezoidal rhomboid, as Cliff Clavin would say. And now we need to decide on the leg roundness. So pretty simple. We just grab our curves. You can click Control and Alt at the same time and grab the ring o stuff, and then we can round these out like that, maybe. Why not? And I think that works for me. I'm going to bevel or fillet this up in here. So we have there's going to be a foot under this, so we need to decide on that one as well. This can be kind of like that, and then we're going to build our knee joint that's going to be kind of like an opposite of what you're seeing here. So I just wanted to make sure we get the proper kind of proportions of whatever this is going to kind of be and be like. So in my opinion, we don't want the I think the proportions of the body are a little odd, so I'm gonna possibly push this knee back a little more and then make the joint sort of going forward on it. That's quite a possibility. Just see here. Now see here. I'm going to probably cut an angle into this. Maybe something kind of like this, and maybe into here. We'll see what happens. Excuse me. And with these two, I'm going to join those. And we're going to take our main shape here, and we're going to cut that from it. And delete those, and then we have this piece. And I think overall, and it seems counterintuitive, but this is going to give me room for a kneecap. And I may or may not have wanted to do that, but I think I did. And yeah, I think that'll be kind of cool. I think, I don't even know why at this point. Let's find out. I'm going to grab this edge actually. Let's grab all of it. Oops, I'm still in make a line mode. Let's go ahead and grab these. And just pull those out. Give us that round back again. Okay, that's working for me there, I think. Worry about the foot in a little bit. I need to figure out the where. Say, okay, so this is going to be kind of large here. Body is inside here, so let's maybe sort that. I'm going to make a projection this time next year. No, not that kind. I'm going to kind of figure out where my person is, where a possible maybe hatch on here is. Okay. I kind of wanted to project this onto that surface, but yeah, I did. So grab, move this off, and then now I want to actually take this and go Control I. Pretty sure it's Control I, and select, or is it Shift I or Alt I? Let's see. There we go. And now we're gonna go select this object, Biddy on rock and roll. And it's not Shift I, so it's got to be Control I. Or is it Shift I? Imprint curve. We're going to select this curve right here. It won't let me pick it. Select target body, this one, and now curve this one, and now it does exactly what I've asked. Amazing when you follow the directions. Okay, now with this curve, what I can do is select this piece, which is now a separate piece, and we can actually extract that as an actual object here. So let me I think I just need to cut and paste it. Is that right? So let's see, Control X, so we can go Control X. Nope. Let me find out. So I want to keep this piece, obviously. Let me see if extract is what I'm looking for. XT, extrude. I just want to cut it away and paste it back again as an object. What am I not doing here? What's it called? Is it cut? No. Why am I not, I want to duplicate that for starters. Yeah. So let's go ahead and duplicate it. and then I want to take the original and delete that. So now I've got this separate one that should be completely separate, right? Nope. Let's take this one. That's just going to be an offset. So that is the one that I want to duplicate. So that one now should be my duplicate that is here. Yep. And I want to go back, and then I want to select the other one, I think, delete that one and see if this one still moves, which I doubt, because I probably did the exact same thing. I did. Okay. There we go, and that one should be my separate. You got to pick object, dummy, and not the other. So there's my whole body. There's my door. So let me take the door and let's thicken that about just so much for now. And now we're gonna hide that one, so I can take this body one and delete this face. But not remove it. We want to actually use this as a hollow, a solid here. So now we're gonna come inside, and that should be hollowing this out. It may not, because it's such a complex shape. It's probably gonna fail on it. Yeah. So what I need to do is take this and use this as a extrusion, I guess. We're going to go W, difference, and I'm just going to pull this inward to about the thickness maybe the walls of this thing would sort of be. Maybe like that. And then we might be able to hollow the solid from here. Maybe not. We'll find out. I'm sure that's going to fail. I'm just going to go cancel it. And I think we can delete it here. No, we cannot, because it's a whole feature. So we're going to leave it like this for the moment until I cut this up enough that I can actually do what I'm saying. Also, it's probably the fact that we have this half and half body still. So I think we'll try that next, as I'm just going to come over here and make a line to give us an actual division. We'll cut this sucker in half. As an object. So I'm going to grab that object, go C, use this curve, boom, done. Bob's your grandma. And that sounds groovy there. Cool, so we got this, but we want to hollow this whole solid out using that. I don't know if it's going to work just because of the way this is set up. So we're going to find out. And that is going to be done by selecting the face. And we're going to try it one more time this way. If this doesn't work, I know there's another method, so I'm not horribly worried about it, but we're going to try. Just going to push that in a little bit. It's going to fail, but you never know. All right, another way. This one might work better for that face. So I'm going to go with hollow with solid and try now on this side. I mean, it's pretty complex on the other side, so it may be why it's doing it. It might be the angles. It might be the fact that there's maybe a double line here somewhere, or it might be the fact that, you know, this whole section exists and it's just, you know, non-standard. And the way I will now get around that is we do have to break the body. Yeah, I know. We have to break the body, but I've broken mine many times, so it's not a thing. I'm just going to come here and just go like this. And hopefully that may or may not be within there. I have to check our x-rays. Yeah, that's cutting through. So let's undo that. And I'm going to cut from here now with our line. From here, come on, give me my line tool. Thank you. Why is this not working? There we go. From here now, probably to like, that's being awfully weird. Why is it only going to this edge? I've not seen that. Oh, it's not doing it in the viewport the way we want. So I was like, what is happening? All right, so I have to cut between these two lines here. So we'll go from here to here. Now we're in business now. All right, so let's take our solid body. We're going to cut it away from our little sort of lower half, the pantaloons. And I'm going to say cut using this, and boom, good to go. And now we have this top half that'll probably be a lot easier to hollow out. It's just my guess. I'm going to go with that face now. Again, we'll go with hollow a solid now and see. I know that it's going to be easy if it works though at all. Still having problems. Let's try this one though. Go inward. It's working, but it's moving it's just offsetting the face. We want to go with hollow a solid. I'm going to pull out on it this time. It's probably not going to work. So let's go again to it. Do it again, and now push in, because this is going to use a face to decide where to hollow the solid out, and it just doesn't want to. And this might be because this one's curved as well. Let's try it here again. I'm sure it's going to fail. Yes, it does. Okay, not that big of a deal. I'll try it one more time. Now you could just push this all the way in or something, but you know, maybe have to be the way we do it later, is to pull this as deeper in as I can go, like this. Create an edge, pull that up, push this in more, and so forth. But I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Once we get the whole body done, I can come in here and hollow it anyway. I just wanted something to kind of manage that. If I try to delete this now, though, it's going to be like, that face needs to be there. You can't just delete that face. So yeah, it's kind of a thing. So I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. We do still have our door here that needs to be thickened. It is thickened. I noticed now. We did do that. Cool, works for me. So that's the door. This is obviously going to be all removed. That door could be, you know, offset out a little now so that it has a little more of that thickness we were just speaking. It's down with that thickness as well. And so many things we can do with it now, but there we go. There's a base shape and base whatever. We need some arms, in my opinion, on this thing. So let's start figuring out where those go. I'm just going to draw like we've done here. Let me see if we can even borrow this body part here and duplicate that guy. Bring it up and just give us kind of an automatic arm and shoulder. Something like about that. I'm going to go ahead and angle this around to where they sit more like I think they should. And then we'll have to core out us some kind of arm pit or socket for the arm. I kind of like that sort of oblong vibe we had down there, but I don't want to get too wonky. It's going to be a lot harder to decide where and how things should definitely fit. I'm just going to make a circle for now, kind of in this general area. It won't look like a circle unless you're on the perfect side this way, if that's what we want to do it. In fact, we could go ahead and scale it a little flatter here. Then move this, you know, down kind of like that, just to keep it from looking too wonky. But we'll see. This will probably totally mess up my whole plan, but hey, you don't know until you know. A sphere is something I was thinking about using to cut that out with as well, because this is just going to cut a cylindrical hole, which we don't really want. I just realized. Let's go ahead and use a sphere on this. We could also use a cylinder from the front to cut all the way front to back if that's what we wanted. I don't think it is. So I'm just going to use a sphere. And from here, we're going to go cut that out, and we're going to go with new body, which is going to be B. Somewhere along those lines, I guess. Maybe. And let's turn on everything. We can see what in the heck we're doing. Grab this. Figure out just where that kind of needs to be. I think we can go a lot smaller with it too. And grab and pull that down probably, and probably maybe even a little more. Like so. I'm trying not to get it to where the cup has any kind of an overhang on it. Like if you ever to mold this, it would be a nightmare if you did that. But secondly, I just don't want it locked into that cup like you would be on a skeleton. This needs to be more like this with that open socket where we can see, you know, mechanics and cables or anything cool like that. And now I'm going to grab the body, and we're going to grab our cue, grab this, and I think that overall that looks pretty good. Let's just keep it. I'm happy with it. And now we can finish making the quote-unquote arms. It doesn't necessarily have to have fingers, but it would be cool if it did, just because it'd be able to manipulate stuff a lot more. It's not a robot, it's more of a mech scenario here. I'm going to, I think, kind of give us a little more, I don't know, something to the body here. I don't know if this will be a good thing to do, but I'm going to grab this. I'm going to kind of offset this face out. It may not let me up. Maybe if I did just one side. Nope, this was going to have to be some kind of extrusion, quite possibly. All right, I got to think about that, because I wanted something to kind of come out, but it's such a large piece. This might have to be broken up into more than one for it to extrude or to offset, because there's quite a lot of stuff going on there. Plus, this is front and back body. It probably doesn't want to do that because of that alone. Something to think about. I'll think about that. So this is two separate pieces, though, now that I realize the top and the bottom are not. But the front and back are still one piece, so that might be part of the issue, just the same. Alright, we will need some type of shoulder blade thingy going in the top. Don't necessarily want to copy the hip, I don't think, for this, but you know, it'd be an easy thing to do. Like, it's totally an in production or a production thing to do, to say, well, let's just repurpose this again. But part of me says it would be a lot cooler if it was something original. And not 100% sure I like this shape yet, but we'll see what happens. This is going to have big shoulders, though, that probably will have like rockets or something like attached to them. I think that will work for me. A person is about 2/3 of the door size, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead now and try and make a joint here for this knee. I'm going to just kind of make a temporary surface here and say this central area should be about like that on the outside sort of disc that will be that bolt head, for lack of a better term. I think that's a perfect term for it, honestly. This is going to go ahead and come out like this. We're going to make it create a new body for sure. So that's B. That should be a separate piece now, which yes it is. That will wind up getting a chamfer around this edge, and then get rid of these guys. And then I say a chamfer, smaller chamfer around this edge, just kind of separate it off of that foot piece. We can even give this an offset, or yeah, an offset here, meaning a duplicate line here internally, and then we could even let's see, well, instead of that, let me just undo that line, just delete it. We could do a rectangle, a central rectangle from the center, and just cut this like this. We can spin it any way we want. And let's do that by going R. We got to go local with this, though. How do we go local again? V probably. Freestyle is another way, so let's go with F, and we're just gonna freestyle along the normal. Yay. And then rotate. I don't know why that's not working. Let's go ahead and rotate. Then we're going to use the V pivot. It's one I always use. from here, and we'll just go something like this. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is take this and push it in. And we're going to take this guy, essentially creating a new body from here to there. And then we can get rid of the curve there, the rectangle. I'm going to also grab these ends and clean them up by taking those faces here that you can see this odd gap right at the end and just sort of pulling that down in there. And then we'll do the same for this side. Pull that up into the other. Whoops, not like that. And pull that just a bit up in there like this. Agree. And then we could take all of that now and of course Q this all together. Make it one beautiful piece and then trim for that little edge all the way around both sides. Looking good so far. I'm going to leave that like it is until, you know, these really should have a slight, very slight, but a slight, what you call it to them, fillet. That's the word I'm looking for. I mean, I always go into the gas station telling the guy, hey, whatever it up. Get it? Fill it up? No? Because I can't remember. Man, that was hilarious. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to leave that inward one for the moment. Looking good there. If we wanted to, which I think we should, we can duplicate this. Don't know how easy that's going to be to duplicate to the other side. So I'm going to go Control X. And there will be our, is it Control X or Alt X? Control or Alt X, yeah. And what I want to do is not snap it like that. I actually want to use the freestyle, I hope, in this regard. Snap this to this face here. In the yeah, that seems to be cooperating. In the what? The x-axis, the y, the z. I don't know why that's not working right. The normal of that side. Select curves or solids. I thought I was. That's not where I want it. Let's undo. Yeah, normally that works. Let's grab that, and I mean that usually works. There's another way to do this, is to create a stamp out of it. I'm trying to remember how. Right click the object. It's not a right click. It's a Control C. Is it a Control C? Control V? No, it's not. Come on now. That's the piece. Normally there's a control that pops up. What am I doing wrong? Unjoin array. Nope, nope, nope. Project onto curve. I don't want to project a curve onto a surface. Maybe it's a duplicate. Maybe it's Alt D. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I think I've actually duplicated this one a number of times now. I have. So undo that. We're going to click on it. We're going to Alt D. Because I think now I can tell it, hey, Alt D, but do it over here. So I'm going to just bring this now to here, and that is not what I want at all. I'm duplicating the curve and not the whole object. I do not understand what's happening here. That's different, because usually Shift D does a dupe. And then freestyle, give me the ability to stick it where I want, like here. And yeah, see, I don't know why. because you make bolts and stuff this way, that you can stick on and glue anywhere you want, kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look that up again. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna copy it, and paste it, and then move it, which is a little lame, but it gets the job done. Just gonna rotate this like a 180. And we're going to do that on the, and what are you? All right, rotate it on the, nope, that's not the one. It's the worst part of this. And you're going to be at a 0. This is going to be 180 here. This is going to be 90. This one's going to be 180 actually. Why we're getting this big giant version of it, that's really odd. So we're going to go with the 0. We're going to go with the 0. And now I'm going to say, what's this supposed to be? It's going to be 180, exactly as I said. Not sure why that didn't take. And then this one can be, that's the one I'm really wanting. Yeah, that's wagging out. Okay, weird. This one has how many? The right one. Let's figure it out. So I'm just gonna mirror this one then across like so, and then I'm just gonna slide it over from there, because yeah, the rest of that's getting really strange. This works. Not perfectly, but you know, better than that was working. We never finished Heroes, did we? Let's see, now rotate. It's taking entirely too long to do these parts. This is very strange. Grab. Rotate again. Close enough for government work. Let's just get out and see if that's okay. Took entirely too long for that little thing, but it works now. That when we dupe it over, it'll look correct. Now this is going to have that joint happen to be right here, so this has to be built up to where that joint, at least the front joint. The joint can happen down here actually. Let me just make the 3 bits that go down. Let's make the first one. I'll figure out their attachment later. But let's just grab a corner rectangle. I'm just going to kind of come from anywhere in here to like so. We'll just make 3 of these at an angle. Let's see. Pretty much on the same angle as this. As long as they can go across, I'm just going to make a 3D of it now. I'll just extrude that out. It's got to be as big around as the pin will be. So we can go like that. So grab it, move it forward, I guess, something along those lines. Might even need to make that slight bigger that way. Okay, let's get rid of this. Take this, move it in, pass it around. Let's see, grab over a bit. That works for me. Might need to be a little bit more farther back. Trying to keep from eating into those edges, which it still seems to be. Maybe like so. And from the front, we can go with an array, rectangular, just like a out to here. Around there, and maybe 3. We'll pull those slightly over and then move the whole thing over as one does. And good. And then we'll take all of our edges here, at least the bottoms. I say round them. And let's chamfer, what the heck. They look stronger. Smarter, better, faster, stronger. Okay. This will have to have another bit that can fit in a pin. Which I think that will be okay if that pin is smaller. It's not going to kill anything. It can be tucked under that edge just the same too. So what if from the front now we can duplicate that for gates and shiggles. We're going to go ahead and rotate that around like that. This is not going to have 3 though. It's going to have 2. So I'll grab this, move these this way. Those should probably line up the same. And this one will go away on the end. Kapow. I think these can probably extend down slightly just to make sure everything's good and clear. Okay, let's take our edges now, at least from this guy. Those chamfer to kind of help sell that idea. All these. And the uprights to get both sides. That overlap is bothering me, but it can wait. Okay, that's looking all right. All this will get detailed up quite a bit. Then we just need to make sure that this has a socket of some sort to sit in, and I believe what I'm going to wind up doing is using this ball again and taking it and making it small. And I'm going to leave it straight up and down actually. Pretty much like that. Putting it up in here. These cannot interfere with each other is the only thing. Let's see if this makes sense to scale this depth-wise. I think that clears. These can then come down probably or be chucked backward. Let's try it down first. It's kind of ugly. Thinking that maybe those need to move up and cut downwards in here. So to do that, actually I would have to go to these lines and chamfer those in. That would look better for sure. That's definitely more interesting. And those are probably okay the way they are, I think, unless we wanted to go that way with these two, which could happen. Let's see, where are they? That one and this one. Push in until they look interesting. I think that is not a horrible thing, because this ball could rotate inside of this socket and no one knows what direction it is until excuse me, until it is ever possibly seen. So I think what I will do here too is grab this little bottom corner that is peeking out. Oh, guess it's not. I thought it was. Don't know what I did, but hey, that works. Oh, I think I made that ball larger. Let's make it smaller. I think I actually, oops, I stepped back too far. Hang on. That's what coughing does for you. So this goes like so. Make sure we're at a good depth for that. Something like that. And then the ball should be made smaller by just pushing this to here and making sure I'm not exposing that bottom edge like I did before. And I think overall that looks doable now. Turn off that X-ray. Yeah, I think that's all right, because this looks like it totally could still be possibly. And then I think that it's quite possible to minus this from this, leaving both tools behind. So we can go to our tools there, we can go here, we can say Q, and then this one, and we're going to say keep tools. Did that even work? I think so. I'm going to take this one and find its edges and chamfer this one. Oh, that's the wrong tool. I'll be grabbing this guy, this one, grab its edge. Okay, let's undo some of that. Come back in here and say I want to minus this one from this one, but keep it. So this one we've got, and we're going to now minus this one from it. But we are going to keep both tools. Yes, that's what I want. Say OK. I'm going to hide this one. And you notice I do not have a cut in this piece that I need. I don't know why. Let's close. Let's hide it for a sec. No, that did not work the way I wanted it to. So all we did was half this ball, which I also did not want to do. So let's undo that business. And if I hide this is that only a half. Dagnabbit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kill that. And we're going to bring back the foot. And I'm going to create a new ball. Let's just do this the right way. Imagine that. I'm just going to create that's a circle. Don't want that. We're going to take a sphere somewhere in here, center of that face. And essentially that's what I want to do, but I don't want to do that way. I want to create this as a new object. And we want to keep both objects. So I'm just going to bring this out. We're going to go with new body. There, agree. And I'm going to push this down. Making sure we clear that, and making sure this is essentially, right, well, we could bring that up a little higher because that is going to clear. No, it's not. So let's pull that back down again too. And just make sure everything is okay from all sides. Now let's look at the front. I can live with that as long as we fix this. And the side looks okay. So let's fix this bottom edge next. That's just a matter of taking this face and pulling it down and agreeing. Everything else looks normal. Okay, so done. What we want to do with that piece though is definitely minus this from the foot, but keep both tools. So this one, we're going to select the foot first. We're going to go to our Boolean. We're going to minus this from it and keep both tools and say okay. The only problem is I don't think it's going to keep the full ball. So we're going to double check here. Oh, matter of fact, it did. That's exactly what I was trying to do that whole time. So now here we want this line. We're going to recede this back with a chamfer, which is perfect. And then we're going to take that same line and we're going to name that a little bit of a fillet. Perfect. Now that makes a heck of a lot more sense to everything and everyone involved, because now this joint seems to somehow pivot as necessary on that low dangle foot, plus we have the hinge joint of the knee, and that all seems kind of doable. So I think what I should do is combine this with this part here, and then we should be in business. You can see this is now a mounted section. All of that is one part. This and these can do the same because they it's just one piece of metal. None of this needs to be decided right now, however, because yet again we have to decide on how this is animating later. So that's just for my own view and thoughts on building it right now. That really, that's the only thing making the difference at this point. So now I can come up here and start figuring out an arm. Pretty boxy, but I think longer on the forearms because they're going to be supporting missile launchers or guns or blades or something, right? Why not? Typically not my forte. You know, this is typically not what I build from, but hey, it's a first time for it's not the first time, but it's always a good idea to do new things or work outside the mold, or mold outside of your box, or get the mold off your box or something like that. I don't remember what they say, but if you got mold on your box, you need to go to the doctor. Here we go. Let's get this one a little bit pushed out a little farther too, and I think I'm good with that. And let's get this one a little bit better there, and I think I'm going to just delete that point, and there we're good to go. Okay, so kind of like the bottom section, we're going to square it and then round it, I guess. And I'm just going to grab this whole bit, move it forward, something like that. And I'm going to pull this back. I don't think I'm going to taper front to back on this part, just on the side to side some. Maybe I might not even do that because the forearm is going to have the taper just like this one does, so I might lessen this one quite a bit. And let's go with the, I think, right? And push this back where it goes. Okay. And then these, control out those, push those in to match the, essentially the legs. Same style anyway. This can get a little fillet round around it. Definitely another one at the bottom end. So we've got essentially the same style happening there. Elbow wise, I'm not sure. We could go with that same hinge joint, which is more than likely, because if it's the same manufacturer or whatever, the same style, it would just kind of carry through. So we can copy the whole joint if we want. And just pull that guy over and up. And yeah, give that a rotation from the front. I think that's okay. I think this might be a little long though, the upper arm, for what this joint has added onto it. So I think I'm gonna go back in here, maybe hide this arm joint. I'm not sure what I just hid there though. Let's find out. What am I doing? What is this? Okay, that is my joint. Let's go ahead and hide both of those real quick. Make this shorter. Gotta love how that works. And then we're gonna go ahead back to here and then just get these guys back in the right position. Whoops, I didn't accept my fate. No, I mean my change there. So back here we can turn these back on now again for the third or fourth time today. And I can pull those back up together as a unit. In fact, these can be made a bit more straight if I wanted. And the reason why they're not is because the legs have that sort of shift in them I wasn't accounting for. But it does work. I'm not mortified or anything. It's all good. I think that works though overall. I do need to add us a little forearm piece here. Don't know exactly how that's going to go. Might be a little more kind of mechanical, like you can mount a lot of stuff to it or something. Sounds like a cool idea. I think I do need to figure out what I'm doing for this upper arm guard. I know it's going to be big. Let's go ahead and just start with this crappy one here, which is not the right one for it. I mean, that's the hip, obviously, so it's sized appropriately for that. But this might get me thinking in the right direction as to what needs to kind of happen for this. And I think this one's going to not be rounded like this. It's going to be more of a shelf kind of scenario. I think this one's a little too, I don't know, just roundy. roundy, like roundy roads. All right, let's go ahead and just draw a line. Maybe something like that. I think that works okay. Let's give this a little bit of thickness. I'm just going to make like a shelf. Dun, dun, dun. My shelf. And just kind of come like this. And here is my shelf. It holds all my stuff. It fell down yesterday 'cause it's not very tough. My shelf. Come on, you guys tune in for the music and join. And now we can take that plane and create the shoulder from that, I hope. It's going to be pretty basic to start with, obviously. Let's go ahead and get rid of that polyline. And then we can pull the back side this way. Obviously, this can be shapes from the top in any way we like, to give it a little more flair. I don't know exactly, though, just, whoops, what exactly I want that top shape to kind of look like. I'm thinking a little more like a cutout like that, maybe. So if we were to, I guess I did not pull it out the back and accept it, so let me go do that right away. There you go, right click accept. Sometimes you have to do it twice. It's the mouse command, so nice you have to do it twice. Okay, there we go. I think that's the front. Yes, it is. And I'm just going to grab like a control curve point possibly and just sort of do this kind of thing with it. And grab this and use that as my cutter. Should work, yep. And then we can delete that bit. Looks more interesting for sure. We can do the same thing, I guess, if we wanted to with the back portion. And just get rid of that one because I can always draw another one. Go back to the top. I think this one almost needed to have less curve and more points, you know, more angular kind of a look. So I might delete that curve altogether. Let's just use a line. Kind of do a straighter, more maybe that kind of thing. You never know until you do it. Grab this piece, cut it with that, and delete that piece. And a little too many lines. Looks broken. So let's delete that curve, go back up to the top. We're only going to need 1, 2, 3 in my opinion, maybe only 2. So this will cut in, then down. Let's just do that. That'll look okay. So here, cut, use the line, done, delete. Not bad. I can always throw in another if I don't like that, I guess. Always to pull this farther out, even bring this a little bit farther out, just for a little more Vanguardian kind of Leviosa thing. No, Vanguardian vibe. I believe I might be able to pull just this corner out or in one way or the other. And let's just grab that one and see if it will let me. Yeah, that works too. So not bad. I like that. I'm still deciding on the back of it, just how it all fits. But I think these need to mount to the body because that way the guns are adjusting and pivoting, but you know, they're not flying around with every motion of the arm unless it comes closer enough to make it need to move out of the way. And you know what song we do? No, I'm not going to play it. And let's just hide these again. Push this a little farther in. I think it's still a little too long. And then we bring these guys back and get them back in the position they should be in. And I think that works a bit better. Yeah, that way the arms are a little bit higher and not so strange. I think these shields are also a little bit thin still, so I'm just gonna pull this down, give us a little more heavy metal feeling to it. Could have also went the other way, but no, I think that was fine. I think it's that angle I'm not liking, but that's all right. It looks manufactured that way, which is kind of important, I suppose. And now if we want to, let's make another slice out of that shoulder. This one's just going to once again be just two of them like this, and probably something to that effect. We can grab it and we can cut it with that one, and then we can delete our pieces, and I'm okay with that as well. Figuring out what this is going to be and how eventually. Hurt my back blowing my nose today. How is that even possible? Alright, so with that, I have no idea how long this live stream has gone on, so if it's ridiculous, I apologize, and then again, I do not. Alright, let's see about separating the back from the front. So this, all these pieces in the front. Now there's a middle section, it looks like. And there is no split along this bottom piece. So that would have to be another split at the front. Yeah, I'm just thinking of what to do with certain things. You never know until you do it, and then certain things don't let you do them. I think for sure this should get some type of ribbing around it. It's just always been a thing. And I think what I'm going to do about that is quite possibly making a rectangle from the front, something like this. Not a rectangle. I mean, that would be kind of interesting. I was just had a thought, but a line, my bad. And just coming down here, you know, somewhere. Once again, we have us a face. And I'm going to pull that one out. Yeah, plasticity is crazy. This is not like working with anything else I've ever worked with as easily, for sure. I'm going to chamfer that one in. Quite possibly chamfer these in now. You can even come in here and chamfer these in again. Crazy. Cool. And then with that, even at this weird extreme angle, I should be able to radial array this entire thing with my see-through X-ray there on. Radial array this around its own center like so. Look at that. And then come back and say, no, I need a few more of them in there. Let's do that. Insanity right there. So easily done. Look at that. That's totally cool. All right, so with that, probably should steal the old pieces here too. Wish I would have done that when I was duplicating it, but that's all right. Let's just duplicate that guy, get it up here in place. There is a way to get it to stick to the surface. I cannot remember it for the life of me. I know it's like got something to do with freestyle, like so, but I can't get it to actually function the way I'd like. If I duplicate it, I think it works, but let me move that over first before I do that. So I can come in here and I can go shift duplicate. Nope. I can control duplicate, find the center I want it on, say yes, and then I can where does it do it at? It's not angle, I don't think. It is, then you decide how much depth. Oh, I see, because it's not at the right angle to begin with, so that wouldn't work either way. But yes, that is how it's done. So grab that. I'm gonna have to move this one over and just do the right thing. Rotate. Rotate. Okay, and as long as I'm centered here, then I can just duplicate that guy over the other side. He said with all the hope and yeah, he could muster. And we'll go ahead and alt duplicate that. And will this work over here now? Like so? Probably not. And we will go with so there's offset, there's flip, there's angle. I'm going to say F. Not working. Let's go with angle. No, not working. Let's go with Z up. No, I just wanted to do this as is. I don't think that's what I needed to do, but here we are. So I think that is working. Oh, that's scaling, not moving. So let me move back. Oh, dang nabbit. Let me go ahead and do it again. So alt duplicate. We are going to put it here. Boom. We are going to do this. Is it A? Is that what I want? I don't see that correct. Why is it angle if it's not an angle? Flip maybe? Was it the F? Yep. And then I can pull this in here, but then I still have to fix it. That's not a tried and true method, but it definitely is what I want, just not perfect. So rotate. And then grab that and move it in. And okay, that'll work for now. Well, luckily we can just duplicate those over and everybody's happy. Well, almost everybody. So I'm going to grab this and this and this. We're going to say those are one now. Might as well. So QQ. With my luck, I'll want to change them later, but that's fine. And this will be for one for now. I think I'm just going to leave those for now. Let's see. Probably shouldn't have done that. This I probably want to put on maybe that corner, maybe. Nah, I don't. So QQ, good to go. All right, so there we are for the moment. I'm gonna quit for a while and come back, but you guys get the idea of what's going on. We're making weird egg-shaped mechs, and I'll tell you what, the surfaces are looking good except for this right here. There is a way for me to come in and fix that, but I'm not going to worry about it at the very moment. But everything else looks wonderful, nice and smooth. This is going to be worked on a bit too now that I think about it. These angles here, I don't want them round, but I don't want them as square as that either. So these will all get messed with as well. We'll just go ahead and slightly round them. So now they have a little better feel. These will need it as well. Now I'm noticing I don't have my third for some reason. That's no good. But I can always take one of these and slide it over. It's odd that that's missing. And sucks for me because that is now bonded. But hey, look, this one isn't. Exactly what we needed. So I'm just going to duplicate that one. Move it up into the right place from the front. Back to the front view. Rotate around. Grab it. Rotate. And I think that's fine for there. That one will have to be joined as well in a sec. Now, just do it now. Here and here, QQ. Boom. Oh, it's not joined. That is the problem that was before. That's because that drops so far up there, there is no place to join it. So that's a matter of turning this off, grabbing this and extending it out like that, and unhiding, and then grabbing those solids, as in this one, this one. Ooh, why is that way up there now? I didn't do that. Weird. Pull this up to there. And grab that and put it back on. And then with that, I should be able to take this piece and combine. Is it not? Still. It's not still. Maybe it's just not far enough. It's really close. I guess this doesn't completely matter, but you know, I'm OCD. Okay, back up here. Actually, I'm probably not, but I am about some things. Back here, and then turn this back on, and then now we can grab this and QQ those together, and now I have it. Okay, cool. This one though, it's not joined. Don't know if it'll cause us a problem later or not, but it's best to check and correct. That's what I said, Jack. Huh? And then now, nope. QQ, done, good to go, and yeah, good to go. All right, so anyway, that's where I'm going to stop for the day. I think everything's looking pretty good. Appreciate you guys watching if you have been, and if you're about to or whatever, I salute you. And yeah, so there we are, our model pretty much in its current state. Tell me what you think, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, goodbye.